flower, chugga-lugga-lugging 5 miles an hour on my international harvester.
Back to convention. Before we get started, let's play a game of FFA Jeopardy. Text your chapter name and the correct answer to 1-720-798-8933. Each question answered correctly is worth 10 points, and you'll have 15 seconds to answer each question. Make sure to keep track of your chapter's total points. The top 3 chapters will be receiving a bundle of vintage FFA tees. Let's get started.
Question number 1. What year was the Utah FFA Association chartered?
Time's up. Our association was chartered in 1929. Question number 2. What are the official FFA colors?
Time's up. The colors are national blue and corn gold. Question number 3. In what LDE are you required to create a resume and cover letter?
Time's up. In the employment skills LDE, you create a cover letter, resume, and go through mock job interviews. Question number 4. In what CDE did Napoleon Dynamite participate in?
Time's up. In Napoleon Dynamite, he tastes milk, which is part of the Milk Quality and Production CDE. Question number 5. How many pins can be worn on a jacket?
Time's up. Official dress requirements say we can wear up to 3 pins on our jackets. Question number 6. What is the FFA salute?
Time's up. This is a tricky question, but the FFA salute is the Pledge of Allegiance. Question number 7. How many sentences are the FFA Creed?
Time's up. The FFA Creed has 6 sentences, 1 for each paragraph and 2 in the 3rd paragraph. Question number 8. What year was the FFA established?
Time's up. The FFA was established in 1928. Question number 9. Who wrote the FFA Creed?
Time's up. The FFA Creed was written by our good friend E.M. Tiffany. Question number 10. How many directions of reaching are mentioned in the Utah FFA theme video?
Time's up. There are 6 directions mentioned in our theme video. Reach up, reach down, reach in, reach out, reach forward, and reach back. Thank you for participating. Don't forget to total your points and text them to us. We'll send a bundle of vintage FFA tees to the 3 chapters with the most points. Now, let's get into the second general session of the 93rd Annual Utah FFA State Convention.
Advice I've ever received is nothing worth having is ever free, and that's because lots of things that take hard work help you learn skills that can help you in the future.
The best piece of advice I've been given is to have confidence and own that stuff.
The best advice I've ever received is to not worry about things because worrying isn't going to change anything.
Is to whatever. Just own that stuff.
Yeah.
The Utah FFA is part of the largest student leadership organization in the country. Our goal as an association is to provide our members opportunities to develop their potential for premier leadership, personal growth, and career success through agricultural education.
There are many ways that you can support these opportunities, but what better way to show your support than to drive across our beautiful state with an FFA license plate?
Funds from the license plate program go directly back to the Utah FFA Foundation to support scholarships, chapter grants, leadership activities, and more.
Here's how you can get an FFA license plate. Utah FFA website. You'll find a tab labeled Foundation. Here, you can find the license plate program. For $45, you can become the proud owner of a Utah FFA license plate. $25 of this initial fee goes back directly to support the foundation and will be a reoccurring donation year to year as you register your vehicle. You can apply now by downloading and completing the application here and pay the online fee here, or you can write a check to the Utah FFA Foundation and mail it with the application to Utah FFA Foundation, 2300 Old Main Hill in Logan, Utah.
We thank those who have already purchased the license plate and thank you for doing so. Your support in our program shows that you are invested in the future of agriculture.
Where does our food come from? It comes from places like here. These modern farmers use technology to constantly measure and optimize how their farm performs, like applying nutrients to meet the needs of an individual plant, keeping waterways clean, improving soil health and air quality to help Mother Nature do her thing, and to grow food you can believe in.
Hey, long time no see. Have you checked out the FFA Blue Room or the Virtual Expo and Silent Auction? If not, go to utahffa.org for more details or contact your advisor. Catch you later.
Thank you for your support to the Utah FFA.
Hi, I'm Chase Black, former state FFA officer and loan officer at Western Ag Credit. As an agricultural lender, Western Ag Credit is privileged to work with farm and ranching families across the state of Utah and beyond. Our commitment to the future of agriculture includes supporting the FFA. We do this through contributing to the Utah FFA Foundation, the Junior Livestock Program, scholarships, and helping local chapters. My own FFA experience helped me get to where I am today, and Western Ag Credit is excited to help you, the future of agriculture, achieve success.
Utah FFA. Are you ready for your 93rd FFA convention? Let's celebrate virtually. It's time to introduce your 2020-2021 Utah FFA Officer Team. Your Sentinel from Hurricane, Tyrell Jacobson. Your reporter from Canyon View, Whitney Larson. Your treasurer from Duchesne, JT Potter. Your secretary from Maple Mountain, Brianna Harding. Your vice president from American Fork, Mattia Townsend. And your president from Westlake, Landon Parnell.
The convention hall will come to order. We are now holding the second general session of the 93rd Annual Utah FFA State Convention. Madam Vice President, are all officers at their stations?
I shall call the roll of officers, determine if they are at their stations, and report back to you, Mr. President. The Sentinel.
Stationed by the door.
Your duties there?
Through this door pass many friends of the FFA. It is my duty to see that the door is open to our friends at all times and that they are welcome. I care for the meeting room and paraphernalia. I strive to keep the room comfortable and assist the President in maintaining order.
The reporter.
The reporter is stationed by the flag.
Why by the flag?
As the flag covers the United States of America, so I strive to inform the people in order that every man, woman, and child may know that the FFA is a national organization that reaches from the state of Alaska to Puerto Rico and from the state of Maine to Hawaii.
The treasurer.
Stationed at the emblem of Washington.
Your duties there?
I keep a record of receipts and disbursements, just as Washington kept his farm accounts, carefully and accurately. I encourage thrift among the members and strive to build up our financial standing through savings and investments. George Washington was better able to serve his country because he was financially independent.
The Secretary.
Stationed at the ear of corn.
Your duties there?
I keep an accurate record of all meetings and correspond with other secretaries wherever corn is grown and FFA members meet.
The Advisor.
Here by the owl.
Why stationed by the owl?
The owl is a time-honored emblem of knowledge and wisdom. Being older than the rest of you, I am asked to advise you from time to time as the need arises. I hope that my advice will always be based on true knowledge and ripened with wisdom. Madam Vice President, why do you keep a plow at your station?
The plow is the symbol of labor and tillage of the soil. Without labor, neither knowledge nor wisdom can accomplish much. My duties require me to assist at all times in directing the work of our organization. I preside over meetings in the absence of our president, whose place is beneath the rising sun.
Why is the president so stationed?
The rising sun is the token of a new era in agriculture. If we will follow the leadership of our president, we shall be led out of the darkness of selfishness and into the glorious sunlight of brotherhood and cooperation. Mr. President, all officers are at their stations.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. The Secretary will call the roll of members.
I am pleased to announce there are 59 chapters registered, Mr. President.
Thank you. FFA members, why are we here?
To practice brotherhood, honor agricultural opportunities and responsibilities, and to develop those qualities of leadership which an FFA membership possess.
May we accomplish our purposes. I now declare the second general session of the 93rd Annual Utah FFA State Convention duly open for the transaction of business or attention to any matters which may properly be presented. Utah FFA, I would like to introduce to you two individuals. One enjoys playing pranks on fellow teammates, while the other seems to always be the recipient of these pranks.
They keep us in line when it comes to finances and meeting info, along with just about everything else. The combination of a spunky attitude and a grounding force make these two one wicked combo.
Members and guests, get loud to welcome your Session 2 chairs.
Miss Bree Harding and Mr. J.T. Potter.
JT, one of my favorite quotes is, "It's not enough to wish on stars, you have to reach for them." I love it because it reminds me that it's not enough just to hope for things to happen. I have to reach up and work for it.
Speaking of reaching, there are a lot of other ways we can reach upward. Reaching up can be asking someone for help. They might have some more experience or knowledge, so they will be able to help you accomplish your goals. But first, you have to reach up and ask.
In this session, we'll focus on individuals and groups who we have reached up to. We'll announce the winners in our Creed Speaking and Conduct of Chapter Meeting LDEs, Agri-Science Fair finalists, and recognize our foundation sponsors.
Bree, who was your hero when you were growing up?
Well, I've always had a love for learning, and as a kid, I always looked up to those who knew more than I did and who were willing to share with me what they knew to help me learn and grow. Like Dorothy Ann from the Magic School Bus, she always shared what she knew with those around her.
Well, according to my research, we have some pretty cool Creed Speaking finalists who shared what they learned about agriculture and their passion for FFA.
Go for it.
Your area winners, in no particular order, are Savannah Summers from Mountain Crest, Lexi Stubbs from Cedar, Statland Hughes from Beaver, Trevor Nilsson from Canyon View, Riker Watkins from Mount Nebo, Philip Jordan from Grantsville, Russell Evans from Beaver, Brinley McKnight from North Summit, Richland Anderson from Uinta, Sierra Stevens from Westlake, McLean Nilsson from Wayne, Miriam Gwynn from Carbon, Chanel Kelsch from Manila, Chesley Langston from North Summit, and Salem Shimakonis from Cedar Valley. The third place winner in the Creed Speaking Leadership Development event is Miranda Ferrafino from Riverton. Our second place winner is Sophie Andrews from Mountain Crest. And the winner of the 2021 State FFA Creed Speaking Leadership Development event is Mackenzie Hiddlebrand from Delta.
Okay, so I'm Andrew Woodland from Mount Nebo FFA, and I believe in the future of agriculture because of all the great FFA kids that we have.
One of the ways that my agricultural teacher has helped me is by getting me to step out of my boundaries and do the creed.
JT, since you and I are both the youngest siblings in our family, has anyone ever reached up to you and asked for help?
My brother needed me to help him build his motorcycle, which turned out really cool. He even lets me ride it to return the favor.
Dude, that's cool. In the conduct of chapter meetings, LDE, some of our youngest FFA members compete to show off their knowledge of parliamentary procedure and how to efficiently conduct meetings using their communication skills. We can all reach up and learn something from these FFA members. Your area winners in no particular order are Cedar, Tooele, Cedar Valley, Beaver, Carbon, and Uinta. The third place winner in the Conduct of Chapter Meetings Leadership Development event is South Summit. Our second place winner is Mountain Crest. And the winner of the 2021 State FFA Conduct of Chapter Meetings Leadership Development event is Mount Nebo.
I'm Ryan. And I'm Lacey. We have the privilege of introducing you to someone who's both an example and a best friend of both of us.
She takes determination to the next level.
The amount of sass she packs will blow your mind, and her competitive side is pretty healthy.
Though her hair isn't blonde anymore, she still has those moments.
She's thoroughly loved being your state officer, so much that she's willing to bum a bed from just about anybody.
Here she is, with her finger guns, cheesy expressions, groove and dance moves, and lack of punctuality.
Introducing your 2021 State Reporter, Whitney Larson.
If you never had hard days, if you never had a heartbreak, never had more than you can take, or carried away a life on your shoulders, would you feel like you earned it? Would you live with a purpose, or ever known your own strength? If you never had hard days.
Have you ever been so caught up in a moment that you completely zone out of the things that are right in front of you? You get so soaked into the here and now that other events seem irrelevant. I'm sure we've all been walking while looking down at our phones, answering a text, and suddenly found ourselves falling over something in our path. In life, we're faced with obstacles, hurdles, and failures, oftentimes falling right into them. It's hard to know how to deal with these conflicts until we find ourselves smack dab in the middle of them. But here's a little something to think about. What if our obstacles are part of growing and being successful? What if it's okay to let ourselves be down for a little while? What if we have the power in our own little heads to be positive about things that seem so negative? When we stumble and fail, how do we fail? When we think of success, some of us think of famous actors or athletes, artists or inventors. We get to see their highlight reel, but none of them really started there, did they? Mr. Stack, as a young man, was an avid fisherman and worked in an Army surplus store. At 18 years old, he was approached by the store owner and asked to create a list of things he would need for a fishing and tackle department. After creating his list, Mr. Stack was told that it was useless and he had no clue what he was doing. Mr. Stack promptly quit and decided to open a bait and tackle shop of his own. After a few years and a lot of hard work, that small shop turned into what we know today as Dick's Sporting Goods. Now, this seems insignificant, but how many of us have made a purchase at a sporting goods store lately? I have definitely been to and probably spent a little too much money in sporting goods stores. Mr. Stack failed, but he failed without the fear of failing again. He was told that his ideas weren't worth anything, but he knew better. In life, we have to remember that our so-called failures aren't actually failures, but instead they're building blocks towards our success. Life isn't meant to be easy, and sometimes finding the good is hard, but knowing that we're learning makes it easier to live and grow through our failures. Fail forward. We need to use our failures to drive us forward even harder rather than hold us back. As a freshman in high school, I always wanted to be a chapter officer. During my sophomore year, I got the news from my parents that my dad was getting a new job and that we'd be moving. When the banquet came and they began to announce the new team to be installed, I was so excited as 6 of my best friends walked on stage. But as they all stood together, my heart dropped. Later, when the banquet was over, I was helping clean up chairs and a friend of mine noticed I was struggling and came to talk to me. What he said has stuck with me ever since. You didn't make office today, and that's okay. That doesn't mean that you couldn't make office next year or make state or national office in the future. At the time, I was still pretty broken up. I hadn't taken the chance to run for office. But this felt like a step back and a hurdle I'd have to overcome before I could be an officer in the future. What my friend had said got me thinking. Sometimes what we think is the end of our road is really just a turn in a different direction. One of my favorite quotes says, "Don't forget you're human. It's okay to have a meltdown, but it's not okay to unpack and live there. Cry it out, and then refocus on where you're headed." Oftentimes, we don't allow ourselves the time to feel what we're going through, or we get stuck in a rut dwelling on those feelings. We have to remember that it's okay to feel things, but it's not okay to let those feelings take over our lives. We need to embrace our challenges and our roadblocks. Your mind plays a big part in learning how to use your failures as a driving force. But your body and your actions also play a part. When we force ourselves to be uncomfortable, only growth can come of that. In high school, I went way out of my comfort zone and participated in what seemed like a pageant for real smart people. I did not feel like I was qualified, but I tried anyways. I was awarded the Agricultural Science Sterling Scholar in my high school. At one of our first meetings with our advisors, we were shown a video of a girl named Margie Mays on American Idol, who when she was uncomfortable would take a moment and create a box over her head, something like this, or roll her R's for a second, like this. It was goofy and weird, but it helped to calm her down. Later, before every practice interview and before my final interview, I would stand outside of the door and do something like this. I was never comfortable doing this before an interview or before a competition either. But somehow doing something that I knew was uncomfortable made me more confident. For each of you, being uncomfortable will look different. Some people stand in a power pose, some hold a pen in between their teeth, and some stand with a box over their head, rolling R's. I want you to find what makes you uncomfortable for a moment so that you can be confident and comfortable with being uncomfortable. Now, if you've noticed, each of these are real obstacles: failures, emotions, and attitudes. Each person could have let themselves get beat down and afraid to try again for fear of failure. But instead, they failed fearlessly. They picked themselves back up and they carried on. They found a way to use their failures as building blocks towards their success. They failed fearlessly and allowed it to make them better. Mr. Stack quit his job, but he used his prior knowledge of the business to build his own success. I used what I thought was a failure as a sophomore in high school to motivate me to run for office my junior year at a new high school and to submit my papers to run for state office. Those steps got me to where I stand today. Margie Mays, the girl from American Idol, who did quirky things in uncomfortable situations to make herself comfortable, won a ticket to move one step closer to her dream. I want you to take a breath the next time that you face an obstacle, and don't be afraid to fail. Fail knowing it's going to be rough. Fail knowing you might end up flat on your face with nothing to show. Fail fearlessly, knowing that next time you might conquer the world. In your everyday life, when you stumble upon yet another obstacle, and just when you think you're ready to quit, take a moment and ask yourself, how are you going to fail?
You would have never learned the words to Amazing Grace.
Whitney, your positive outlook on life has changed the way we look at challenges. Your ability to make everyone feel valued affects everyone you meet. Thank you for always listening with genuine intent and for helping us through challenges. Never stop reaching. Love, Tyrell, JT, Landon, Tia, and Bree. Utah FFA, for the last time, your 2020-21 Utah FFA reporter, Whitney Larson.
If you never had a heartbreak, never had more than you can take, or carried the weight of life on your shoulders, would you feel like you earned it? Would you live with a purpose, or ever known your own strength? If you never had hard days.
I'm Adriana Dearden from the North Severe FFA chapter. The best advice that I have ever received is to stay true to yourself and everything will work out.
Skills that I've learned in FFA that have benefited me in life is being kind to others and always looking for a time to serve others and to always try your best.
Oftentimes, it's hard to reach up and ask for continual support. However, we have an amazing FFA Foundation Board, Advisory Board, and some pretty cool sponsors who help us and our association and keep us running even in hard times.
We are so fortunate to have these supporters, and we want to make sure that their efforts don't go unrecognized. Being able to reach up to these groups and individuals is an honor.
Members and guests, help us in recognizing our Foundation and Advisory Board along with our sponsors.
educating youth about and instilling an interest in agriculture goes far beyond producing numbers and statistics. It is about recognizing an investment in the future of American agriculture.
The Utah FFA Foundation builds partnerships with individuals, industry leaders, educators, and government representatives to secure resources for the future of education, agriculture, and student leader development.
Right now, more than ever, it is imperative to provide members with the opportunity to develop and refine their leadership skills. Often, adults receive leadership training as part of their career to advance in their profession. At a younger age, Utah FFA members receive meaningful leadership coaching and experimental opportunities to grow. This results in FFA members becoming natural leaders with the ability to flourish wherever they are planted.
Just as American agriculture has grown and developed over the years, so have opportunities for Utah FFA members. Production agriculture has been the basis of our organization from the beginning and has been strengthened with leadership, technology, and research. Our foundation strives to help members reach their goals by providing resources to learn and build upon their knowledge through agriculture experiences.
Because of these experiences, those involved naturally begin to network and become part of a community who supports agriculture education and its purposes. Whether that be a farmer, scientist, educator, business owner, or someone else altogether, anyone can do their part to support and advocate for future agriculturists.
Those who support Utah FFA in any form see it as a chance to invest into opportunities for agriculture students outside of the traditional classroom experience. They see these opportunities help FFA members become innovative problem solvers and ethical employees who are ready to enter the workforce. They benefit from long-term collaborative relationships with business partners, customers, and industry leaders.
The Utah FFA Foundation has been supporting those involved in agriculture education for over 35 years. Our story becomes greater and more valuable with each and every partnership throughout the years.
Because of the generosity of our supporters, our members have been able to gain experience, skill, and relationships that will last a lifetime.
We wholeheartedly give thanks to those who have continuously supported and advocated for the Utah FFA. These opportunities for learning and growth would not be possible without you. The Utah FFA Foundation looks forward to engaging in a bright future of
growing leaders,
strengthening agriculture,
and building communities.
process of selecting new state officers is far from simple. Candidates for state office reach up to their resources so they can be the best they can.
These next individuals are reaching up and challenging themselves for the opportunity to serve Utah FFA. These members are going through rounds of interviews, creating presentations, and delivering speeches.
Utah FFA, let's meet the 2021 and 2022 state officer candidates.
Hello, FFA. I am Bradley Wilson from the Uinta FFA chapter. Hello, Utah FFA. I am Bradley Wilson, running from the Uinta FFA chapter.
Hey Utah FFA, my name is Faith Rowley and I'm running from the Moon Lake FFA chapter.
Hello, Utah FFA. I am Bradley Wilson from the Uinta FFA chapter.
Hey Utah FFA, my name is Faith Rowley and I'm running from the Moon Lake FFA chapter.
Hello, Utah FFA. My name is Caleb Curl, and I'm running from the Fremont FFA chapter.
Hey Utah FFA, I'm Kennedy Stubbs from the Cedar FFA chapter.
I'm Mark Wainsgard from the Ridgeline FFA chapter.
Hey Utah FFA, my name is Shaylee Wilson and I am proudly representing the Cedar Valley FFA chapter.
Hey Utah FFA, my name is Cicely Brown and I am proudly representing the Mountain Crest FFA chapter.
JT, have you grown a few inches since I last saw you?
I wish. I don't think I'll ever reach up and make that 6-foot mark that everyone makes such a big deal about.
Yeah, well, no matter how tall you grow, you can always reach up to someone no matter their height.
Even if we've stopped growing physically, FFA in Utah keeps reaching new heights. Every year, we charter new chapters.
Help us in welcoming these new chapters into our association. Our newly chartered chapters are Tintic and Utah Virtual Academy. Welcome to the Utah FFA Association.
Philip, why did you join FFA?
So when my brother was first telling me about FFA, I thought it was like just a club for cowboys. But after joining it and having a lot of fun, I realized you don't need to be like a yeehaw kid to be an FFA, and I've had a lot of fun.
The state of California plays a big role in American agriculture, growing over 33% of our vegetables and 2/3 of our fruit.
California definitely has an influence on our country's agriculture. Just like our Western Region Vice President, David Lopez, has an influence in the National FFA organization. We now welcome David to our convention as our National Officer Keynote Speaker.
Your Western Region Vice President, from the state of California, David Lopez.
Hola a todos, mi nombre es David Lopez, yo soy miembro del Estado de California, and this year I've been elected to serve as the National Western Region Vice President, and couldn't be more excited. I'm originally from the Hope FFA chapter, and I am currently a freshman at the California Polytechnic State University studying agriculture communications. I'm studying agriculture communications in the hopes of better understanding the agriculture industry, and ultimately my hope is to attend law school and find ways to improve the lives of all agriculturalists. I joined FFA my freshman year of high school, and ever since then, I can surely say I have tried everything this organization has had to offer. From starting off with Creed to BIG, and then participating in LDEs like extemporaneous public speaking, prepared, and then also did some career development events such as vegetable judging, pest control judging, and really just found a passion for not only the industry, but also the leadership component that this organization has to offer for students like myself and many more who are involved within the FFA organization. If I were to describe where I come from, I would use 3 words: hot, small, and rural. Hopeville, California is the place I grew up with, and if I were to tell you where it's at on the map, I would tell you it's right there in California, just 20 minutes off the Mexican border. And although we are small, the love and community aspect of Hopeville is beyond compare. The stories that have been told by generations are something that I look back at and just feel amazed and a sense of gratitude to be part of this town. And I will always be proud to be a Viking. In high school, if you're trying to get a hold of me, you probably couldn't. If I wasn't at an FFA event, I was either at swim practice, some other athletic event, academics, and the list goes on. I was always the type of student who loved being involved within our school campus simply because of the opportunity it gave us to move the culture forward and really create change and towards the people it affects. I can probably say that I've probably done just about every extracurricular at Hopeville High School. You know, ever since I was a kid, leadership is something that I've always admired. The way people have the ability to move things forward is something that I've always been passionate about. And really having that message clear in my head whenever I decided I'd run for national office was a big part in why I did what I did. I had this idea of building a sense of belonging and appreciation for all students, no matter race or background, and really moving the needle forward. I think as a national FFA organization, the work we're doing is marvelous. I think it really does impact a variety of students, and I hope to keep moving the needle forward for all students to feel a sense of success whenever they walk out of the FFA program. Thank you all. I can't wait to meet you this upcoming year and get the chance to hear your stories. Mucho amor.
Hello, everyone. First and foremost, I'd like to say how thrilled and excited I am to be here celebrating the great work our association has accomplished this past year. And as my teammates and I have had the chance to go to different conventions and or events, something that I've grown to be a big fan of is the people I've had the chance to work with. And in this case, it's you, Utah FFA. So thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Now with that, in this past session, we've had the opportunity to hear about our winners and also hear the amazing remarks of Whitney's retirement address. And if you're anything like me, you probably need like a little intervention break, maybe a little bit of stretching. So come on, we're gonna go ahead and do this together. So let's just stretch to our right or left. All right, the other way. All right, perfect. I got a little pop. Stretch down low, up top. Take a deep breath. Breathe out. Breathe in. 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 Breat Breathe out. Breathe in. breathe out. Perfect, folks. We are ready to start our time together. Now, as our time together begins, I want us to take a look at this. What do we think this bandana could be used for? Maybe some of us are thinking a new piece of clothing, maybe a cute accessory, maybe even the TikTok's newest trend like the Renegade, right? Well, although all of that can be true, I want us to think what this specific bandana could be used for. As I sit here and look at it, I'm reminded of all the memories I have made with it specifically. I think of the spirit days I got to show my school pride in. I think of the countless times I thought that bandana meant competition time. I can think of all the times I wiped that wrench off my shirt with that same bandana. But the one most impactful story happened towards the end of my high school career. And I know we're probably thinking, what kind of weird obsession does this dude have with bandanas? But I promise I don't. The only thing is, this bandana actually changed the trajectory of my life and where I wanted to go. Coming from such an agriculture predominantly area, I grew up seeing the countless hardworking men and women working in the fields, harvesting those endless vegetables we see in grocery stores. From the water dripping off the fresh romaine lettuce, to the still but delicious broccoli, and even that ugly but beautiful on the inside onion. I've seen it all, folks. But it really wasn't towards the end of my high school career that it all took a turn. You see, as I took some time and right before the senior year of high school, I realized I would be going off to college soon. I had to help contribute to my family in some way. So I decided I'd get my hands dirty and work at our local onion shed. So I did just that. And as I took on my first job, I witnessed something, well, miraculous, really. As a kid, I always wondered what kind of person it took to work at such an establishment. For so many people, that work is looked down on, way beneath us, really. But I can tell you one thing, is that those people who do that selfless work are some of the best people to spend our time with. On my first day at the job, I remember looking around the building and seeing the grit and passion these folks had for the work they got to partake in. The amount of pride they took in helping feed people across the country and internationally, even though some people saw this job as insignificant. The strong men hoisting the 50-pound bags of onions, the elderly women sorting through edible onions, sifting out those that wouldn't be picked by consumers. It seemed as if everyone was sweating what seems to be gallons of water in order to earn their paycheck in that insane heat. The tin roof of the building made it so unbearably hot that it was hard to work in there. And let me tell you, homeboy David had never experienced a hard day's work like that one. The sweat dripping off my forehead into my eyes, making it very, very hard to see. And as I tried picking onions, I thought to myself, I am done. This is hard. I'm going to go home. But on the bigger picture, I realized that there was work to be done. I must have had a look of desperation on my face as an elderly woman, who reminded me a lot of my grandma, as a matter of fact, walked up to me. She pointed to my forehead, takes out a bandana out of her pocket, and gives it to me. In that moment, I had this big, realization moment. I quickly wiped the sweat off my head and tied it around my head, and then got back to work. Now, even though it was just a piece of cloth and it didn't solve all my problems at the onion shed, it surely did one thing for me. It helped me view the people and the work I did through a different light. Granted, I forgot my bandana multiple times after that, and also people managed to help me with one at a time. However, those experiences made me realize that these folks were built different. And by that, I don't mean like Hulk or anything like that, but I mean built different in the work how they went about their work. Aside from all the challenges, including the heat, the socioeconomic status, the citizenship questions, the meager paycheck, the exhaustion, they found pride in the work they got to do. The fact that these individuals worked in and day out and still found it in their hearts to be kind to a complete stranger like myself blew my mind. The fact that someone was willing to give their bandana is quite a gesture. I'm telling you, you definitely need one of these bad boys at a hard day's work in the shed. So the fact that someone was willing to give that to me and give theirs up was beyond crazy. In that moment, I took a second and I realized the world needs more of this. As leaders, we need to do this more often. We need to pass our bandana forward. I come to the realization, how many times have I failed to see the times the bandana has been passed forward to me? How many small, seemingly insignificant acts born of kindness have impacted or shaped me in some way? Who are the people who have made that possible for me? Perhaps we may be asking ourselves the same question right now. Who is someone that has passed their bandana towards me that I didn't even take the time to recognize? Maybe it's a mentor or a teacher or a coach or a church leader or a friend or even a random stranger at the grocery store. Because it has happened, I guarantee you that. You know, standing where I am today, I took the time to realize that I am not where I am out of a place of coincidence or luck. I'm here out of a place of investment from others who have poured into me. And though it's been a long and crucial process, it has challenged me in the best ways. Ways that have asked me to ask the bigger question of, how can I pass my bandana forward to other people? And maybe with some thought, you will too. And if you do, I hope we come to the same conclusion. As leaders, it's important to pay it forward, to give the world the kindness and generosity it has given us. And I know you're probably thinking, well, David, that sounds a little complicated. So how do we go about doing that? Well, luckily, friends, I have 3 simple steps in which we can accomplish that task. The first one is simple. Own up. Own up to the fact that people have helped get you where you are today. Maybe it's simply getting out of bed every morning. Our parents making us some sort of breakfast. Or maybe it's even a complete stranger we saw along the way that gave us a smile that reminded us to keep working hard. We've all had this experience at some point or another. So own it. Own it that it gave you the power to keep moving forward. There's a quote that reads, "Nothing of me is real. I am a compiled effort of everyone I have ever met," by Chuck P. This became evident as I spent some time with a student in Florida last week. 3 years ago, Emily decided to join FFA for the first time. But it wasn't as simple as that. It started off by her ag teacher pulling her into his classroom and telling her that he saw the ability and drive she had in order to be successful in FFA. And for the longest time, Emily questioned that. She didn't look like the average FFA kid. She thought differently as well. She thought this organization wasn't the move. However, that advisor remained persistent and found ways to show up for her. 3 years later, Emily served as a chapter president and helped move the organization forward in small but impactful ways, helping other students that identify like her to find comfort in this organization. It's safe to say none of that would have been possible if it weren't for her advisor taking the time to invest in her. So own up to the fact that we're here because of the people around us. Because once we do that, we can move on to the second step, which is simple. Open up. Open up to the possibility that maybe it's our turn to return the favor. For years, I've been poured into, and probably you have too, which feels great because we feel like we're growing and getting better. But what if we started pouring into someone else? And maybe we already do that. It's as simple as helping our younger siblings with homework. Or maybe it's doing chores, even though chores are a little bit of a hard task sometimes, before we're asked to. Maybe it's helping coach an FFA contest for friends. Or staying after practice to help your teammate get better at their sport. It's the small ways that helps us pass the bandana forward for our members. And I want us to think for a second, who can I help? Who can I help? And how can I help them? How can I pass my bandana forward in order to repay the bandana that's been passed to us? And it doesn't have to be anything crazy because the small acts matter. This reminds me of my time last year as a state officer back in California, as I got to meet amazing people on the road. And two people that come to mind are my good friends, Luis and Chuy from Dinuba, California. These folks were the lovers of the FFA, let me tell you. As much as I love Chick-fil-A sauce, they are the equivalent to that. Luis did everything you could imagine. Speaking competitions, CDEs, and livestock showing, everything. The last chip of his hot Cheeto bag was earning his American degree to make sure he did everything. But Luis quickly realized that there was a cost affiliated with earning his American degree. So he thought outside the box, and for the next 2 years, worked in the fields in order to accumulate enough money to apply for his degree. 2 years ago, Luis got the opportunity to walk across the stage, shake Brianna Holbert's hand, and earn his American degree. He went back home and served as an inspiration to his younger brother, Chuy, to realize that although race, socioeconomic status, gender, ethnicity, and the list go on of things that can stand in our way, that there's a barrier that can be broken. Chuy, now a junior in high school, is eager for the same chance to walk on that stage and earn his American degree. We in our lives have people who have made the impossible seem possible. It's just a matter of identifying them. Maybe our impossible was winning the next track meet, or simply standing in front of a group of people and talking. Maybe even trying something new, like Chinese food or trying a new language. But whenever we are when we open up to the fact that there's more to learn and there's more to give, we can do the final and third step of simply showing up. This year, we have seen it in an abundance of ways. It's crystal clear as we have seen it firsthand. And I'd like to give a quick shout out to our advisors and educators across the country, because these individuals haven't stopped the conversation of showing up for our students. It's safe to say this year has looked like no other. Fingers crossed, it's a one in a lifetime experience. Double fingers because we don't want this to happen again. But the truth of the matter is, as long as this pandemic has been going on, the conversation of how we make experience memorable for that first year member to that last time you wear that jacket as a senior and everyone in between hasn't stopped. I've seen it firsthand with teachers like Miss Campbell from Snow Canyon in Utah, Mr. Funk from Stapleton in Nebraska, Miss Davis from Arabia Mountain in Georgia. And the list keeps going on and on about the conversations of teachers. Now it's our time as FFA members to stand up and show up. And I'm not asking us to do something crazy. I'm doing it to do the simple ways. It's as simple as turning on our camera during school, during events where we get to interact with other people. It's being a listening ear to our friends in time of need. It's doing the small things because even when we don't think they matter, they do. They matter big, as a matter of fact. I think back and wonder if anyone back at the Onion Shed imagined that the bandana sharing would mean anything. And now I can proudly say, because of the story and the grit these people showed and the selflessness, I now want to pursue a job that allows me to work with immigration policy and help better the lives of individuals like them every day. I will never forget my time in the Onion Shed, and I will never forget the times I forgot my bandana, but most importantly, I will never forget the time a bandana was given to me. And because of that, I decided to own up, open up, and show up every day for the people around me. And I hope you do too. So Utah FFA, who will you pass your bandana to? Thank you all so much. I hope you all have a great convention. I'm super excited to continue celebrating you all.
Thank you, David, for being a part of our state convention today and for being the influence that we as FFA members can always reach up to. You know who I've reached up to and learned a lot from this past year? MacGyver. That man, he's a cool guy. That man has taught me so much about using science to solve problems.
I hate to break it to you, JT, but you can learn a lot more about science from our FFA members.
You are right. We have our Agri-Science Fair. Let's award our Agri-Science Fair winners.
Placing in Animal Systems Division 3. In third place, Reagan Hill from Fremont. In second place, Katie Hewlett from Bear River. And the winner in the Animal Systems Division 3 is Miranda Farino from Riverton. Placing in Animal Systems Division 4. In second place, Tristan Hill and JC Betts from Fremont. And the winner in Animal Systems Division 4 is Larry Pazowsk and Tanner Duchett from Bear River. Placing in Animal Systems Division 5. In third place, JC Stansfield from Carbon. In second place, Abby Wintle from Tooele. And the winner in Animal Systems Division 5 is Jesse Shepard from Spanish Fork. Placing in Animal Systems Division 6. In third place, Sabri Wall and Dominic Woodher from Westlake. In second place, Haley Branch and Sydney Wilkinson from Bear River. And the winner in Animal Systems Division 6 is Ashley Olson and Russell Mingleson from Spanish Fork.
Environmental Services and Natural Resource Systems. Placing in Environmental Services and Natural Resource Systems, Division 2. The winner in Division 2 is Matthew McCormick and Peyton Cook from Tooele. Placing in Environmental Services and Natural Resources Systems, Division 3. The winner is Aaron Plum from Tooele. Placing in Environmental Services and Natural Resource Systems, Division 6. In second place, Sage Johansson and Kesa Julender from South Sevier. And the winner in Environmental Services and Natural Resource Systems, Division 6, is Shelby Allison and Jennifer Webb from Lehigh.
Placing in Food Products and Processing Systems, Division 1. And the winner is Lacey Hadfield from Lehigh. Placing in Food Products and Processing Systems, Division 3. And the winner is, and our third place winner is Sage Murray from Bear River. Placing in Food Products and Processing Systems, Division 5. And the winner is Riley Voorhees from Spanish Fork. Placing in Food Products and Processing Systems, Division 6. And our winner is Colton Evans and Talia Linford from Lehigh.
Plant Systems. Placing in Plant Systems, Division 3. In third place, Dylan Roop from Fremont. In second place, Lindsay Fawcett from Carbon. And the winner in Plant Systems Division 3 is Ariana Schaffer from Tooele. Placing in Plant Systems Division 4. In third place, Oakley Marriott and Keely Mitchell from Fremont. In second place, Caden Allen and Aspen Conover from Lehigh. And the winner in Plant Systems Division 4 is Leah Earnshaw and Riker Somers from Westlake. Placing in Plant Systems Division 5. The winner in Plant Systems Division 5 is Hannah Gills from Fremont. Placing in Plant Systems Division 6. The winner is Abigail Ressler and Sierra Settler from Royal.
Placing in Power Structural and Technical Systems Division 1. And the winner is Staten Shepherd from Mount Nebo. Placing in Power Structural and Technical Systems Division 3. And the winner is Beth Robinson from South Sevier. Placing in Power Structural and Technical Systems Division 4. And the winner in Division 4 is Tayton Linford and Jajan Olson from Lehigh. Placing in Power Structural and Technical Systems Division 6. And the winner is Casey Knight and Tyler Young from Roosevelt.
Social Science. Placing in Social Science Division 3. And the winner is Chloe Stokes from Bear River. Placing in Social Science Division 4. And the winner is Brindley Rhodes and Gracie Marsh from Bear River. Placing in Social Science Division 5. In second place, Salome Dervia, Carbon. And the winner in Social Science Division 5 is Casey Madsen from Bear River. Placing in Social Science Division 6. The winner is Savannah Brown and Brennan Nye from Westlake. Congratulations to all of our Agri-Science Fair winners. I was thinking about that quote you shared about reaching for the stars, and it got me thinking of a space joke I heard once.
Oh, all right, let's hear it.
How do you organize a space party? You plan it.
Well, this session was definitely a party for sure. We congratulated our Agri-Science Fair finalists as well as our Creed speaking finalists.
We also got to hear from our state reporter, Whitney Larson, and our National Western Region Vice President, David Lopez.
It was such a good experience today to learn about FFA members that we can all reach up to.
As we wrap up today, let's not forget to reach up to those around us.
One of my hobbies is training dogs. I really love learning about how animals react to the way we treat them.
My name is Olivia, and I love barrel racing and training horses because I love to watch them grow.
Madam Secretary, do you have a record of any further business which should now be transacted?
I do, Mr. President. I have the following announcements. The FFA Blue Room is open to all participants. The links to the silent auction, FFA Blue Room, and virtual expo can be found at utahffa.org. Check out some amazing offers and info from our sponsors and partners. Don't forget to join us tomorrow at 9:45 a.m. for our pre-session and 10 a.m. tomorrow morning for our third general session of the 93rd Utah FFA State Convention.
Does any member know of any new or unfinished business which should probably come before the session? We are about to adjourn this second general session of the 93rd Annual Utah FFA State Convention. As we mingle with others, let us be diligent in labor, just in our dealings, courteous to everyone, and above all, honest and fair in the game of life. Fellow members and guests, join me in a salute to our flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This convention hall adjourned until the third general session at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Have you had a chance to check out our other online events like the FFA Blue Room, Online Expo, and Silent Auction? If not, talk to your advisor or check out utahffa.org for more information. Have a good one.